All right, this is my first YouTube video to make for the YouTube channel, but I really wanted to share one of my favorite things, which is beef barbecue. And a buddy of mine, Jamie Wofford, had one of his steers butchered, and we split it. And these are beef short ribs. Now I prefer like a big plate rib, but living here in Oklahoma, it's very difficult to find this at the grocery store. You pretty much have to either special order it from your butcher or have your own steer butchered. And this is a short rib. You can see the bones in here. This is two of them. They're cross cut instead of what I prefer, which is the whole big long rib. But they're still, each one is dang near a meal by itself. A lot of meat there. And beef barbecue, to me, that's what I grew up on. Living right next to Texas. In Texas, beef is barbecue. In most places, it's pork. Here in Oklahoma, if you talk about ribs, most people think you're talking about pork ribs. Most of my friends, man, just look how beautiful that is. Just absolutely beautiful rib. So most of my friends are big pork rib people when they talk about ribs, and they just have not experienced how amazing these beef ribs are. So again, I like them in a plate, the plate rib style, a lot bigger. Butcher cut these short ribs for me, and we're gonna do what we can to get them all dolled up. One of the big things that I do to them is before I put them in the smoker, it's all about two things: coarse ground pepper, salad grind, like a number 6 grind, and kosher salt. So I will come in, I've got a little hook bill knife here, and I will come in and score some of this cap fat. I do like keeping it on there just because it really helps keep the meat moist. And I try to put a little bit of a crosshatch in that fat. You don't have to go all the way through it, but my knife is super sharp today, so we go a little deeper than normal. But just a little crosshatch, let the seasoning through, let that fat run through to the meat as it's melting away. This one here actually has some of the meat on top of it from the larger cut. And I would not be able to do this without my friend Jamie Wofford, who has a cattle ranch and splits a side of beef with me every year. So we're going to get these hatched up. I try not to cut all the way through the fat, just enough to get in there a little bit. With this one here is particularly pretty. So until just a couple of years ago, I couldn't even find barbecue restaurants. When I would ask about beef ribs, they'd just smile and shake their head and look at me like they had no idea what I was talking about. So only recently, in the last couple of years, have people figured out how good beef ribs are. And they are definitely caveman ribs. When you get a big set of plate ribs, they And don't be afraid to go too heavy on the seasoning. A lot of it's going to help create that bark later on in the smoker. Woo. There we go. And we really want to season these up on all sides. A little bit on the ends. Even the undersides that aren't going to really get anything, I still throw some stuff on there. Patting it as I go. And you'll see guys mix it together, and that's an easier way to do it. I prefer to do it one at a time so I can control exactly what I'm putting on instead of doing it as a salt and pepper mixture. Good rib rub is good too. I just find that on beef barbecue I really like a little more salt and a little more pepper because it can stand it than pork. And some of these, see, there's some meat there, some shiners that are still around. Kosher salt is good and cheap, plentiful. You can use a lot of it, not be out a lot of money like you are with rib rubs. So this is something that I've been eating since I was a child. We always had beef ribs. We always slaughtered our own cattle. And being from right down on the Texas border, we had a lot of that cross culture. When you say barbecue in Texas, you were talking about beef. It is not just about pulled pork and pork ribs and Boston butts. It is about beef sausage, beef ribs, and good old brisket. So, and brisket's all the rage these days, but you don't see a lot of people talking about these guys, which are amazing when they're done right. When you cook them right, it's 3 different words. It's not amazing, it's amazing. You will like it. So, just a liberal dousing of salt and pepper all the way around on all sides. Pat it in real good. I let them set for half hour or so while I'm getting my smoker up to temp and going. Today the weather's kind of crappy on us, so I'm actually going to use an electric smoker with wood chips so that I don't have to go stand over it and tend the fire in the rain. One of the nice things about modern conveniences. So, just about done here. And we will go get our electric Lowe's smoker. I believe it's a Masterbuilt brand. Bought it at Lowe's a couple of Christmases ago. And have a cold smoking attachment to throw a little extra smoke at stuff. and it is definitely a sit and forget operation. That is one of the nice things about it. I know people gripe about it's not real barbecue unless you're burning sticks, and I get it. I don't disagree with you. But when it is cold outside and raining, that is okay. All right. I think these are going to be fantastic. I'll see you at the smoker. All right, we're fixing to put them in the smoker. The smoker is up and going. Woo! It is up to temp. Give me a little meat probe on that so I can be lazy and lay on the couch and know what temperature they're at. Woo, that is hot. Hot, hot, hot. There we go. Get you a good close-up in there. A little on the dirty side. That thing is well used, but we'll come back and visit it here in a little bit, see how those beef ribs are turning out. All right, we are going to check on this thing and see how it's coming along. Looking good, rendering some good fat. Not really building a lot of bark, but it is smoking. It looks good, and we'll check on it here in a little bit. All right, I think they're done. Let's see how this turned out. Woo-wee. Now that's real barbecue. That is beef barbecue right there. We can get them without them falling apart. Get them back inside. Looks like we got a good render on a lot of that fat. Pulled away from the bones. Right. Let's get these in and carve them up. All right. Let's carve this bad boy up. As you see, we've got a decent crust there, and it is falling apart. You can hear that sound. The gelatin in the meat. And look at that. Look at that. Man, that is going to be delicious. So that's it for this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. We smoked with hickory chips. It took us about 4 hours, 5 hours to smoke. We cooked to an internal temperature of 205 degrees to let the fat render out and the connective tissue break down. It's beef barbecue rubbed with salt and pepper, smoked in electric smoker, and the smoker we ran it at 265 on the temperature. So the only thing left is to eat this bad boy and enjoy it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was useful. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you in future videos. If you got any comments, leave them below. Thank you.